Hello, my dear students. Today's topic of discussion is a poem Hide and Seek. I know that most of you have the experience of playing hide and seek, right? And if you do not have any experience, then you can have it now as you are staying at home right now. Now, before starting the poem, I'd say about the poet. This poem is written by Vernon Scannell. He was a British poet and author. He was a soldier and a boxer before he was a poet. He wrote many poems about childhood and war. He received many awards for literature. Let us come back to the poem. The poem is told from a young boy's point of view and is written in free verse. Free verse means that is without rhythm and rhyme schemes, which do not follow regular rhyme scheme rule. The theme of the poem is childhood understanding, negligence, loneliness, and desertion. The title of the poem shows the poem is about the famous game of the hide and seek that every child has countless memories of playing. At the same time, hide and seek is a brilliant message hidden in the description of a childhood game. The poem begins by revealing the juvenile excitement and with the confident and bold challenge of a child who has chosen a clever place to hide and is sure that no one will be able to find him. The desperate attempt of the young boy to win the game frames the poem Hide and Seek. But as we proceed, we find the tone changing into profound disappointment or sadness. It represents how someone may deal the situation in life, enduring all the difficulties and problems that one faces in life, and they can emerge as winners. It can also be said that the poem describes the experience of isolation in childhood. Now we move on to the line by line analysis of the poem. Call out, I'm ready, come and find me. The poem begins with very exciting tone and we find the small boy is calling out his friends to find him. Now so many things to be noticed in the first line of the poem. First of all, the exclamation mark. Through the use of exclamation marks, we can see the child's joy at partaking in the game. Next, the imperative. The imperative or the grammatical mood that forms a command or request, as you know. Direct speech. Direct speech reports what someone has said or written by quoting their exact words or quotation mark. Monologue. Monologue is the speech or verbal presentation given by a single character in order to express his or her collection of thoughts and ideas aloud. Here, monologue is used to convey the thought of the child as here the boy has given his direct speech, I am ready, that is monologue. Now, next line. The sacks in the tool shed smell like the seaside. So the children are playing hide and seek and the boy has taken shelter in the tool shed. He hides behind the sacks of sand which are piled in the tool shed. Tool shed meaning a small building for storing tools. The air is filled with dampness and is smelled salty. Now the thing to be noticed in this line is the repetition of the consonant sound S. Sacks, shed, smell, seaside. This type of close repetition of the consonant sound is called alliteration. Alliteration is one of the poetic devices which the poets use to make their writing more beautiful. There are so many poetic devices have been used in this poem. For example, in the same line, smell like seaside. Here the poet has compared the air in the tool shed which is smelling like the salty seaside. So this type of comparison of two things by using like or as are called simile. But in this presentation, I am not going to the details of poetic devices. Come to the next line. They will never find you in the salty dark, but be very careful that your feet aren't sticking out. Wiser not to risk another shout. So, they will never find you. This line shows that the boy is quite confident. But as we can see that the boy is hiding alone there, then the question might come, who is you here? It means he is talking to himself. So, here we get the idea of isolation or loneliness. To protect himself by getting caught by his friends, he keeps on instructing himself. First, he curls himself so that his feet are not visible, and then he thinks that it would not be sensible to call his friends again. It is exhilarating and fun time for the child, but it is also very competitive. The manner in which he hides shows this competitiveness. He wants to make sure that he makes the search for him a very difficult one, and he wanted to be the winner at all cost. Next line, the floor is cold. This is very important. Cold here symbolizes discomfort, emotionless behavior that the boy has started feeling while hiding in the tool shed, which lacks the warmth which he has felt just before entering the tool shed when he was playing outside with his friends. But the thing is, the poem is not just about a childhood game, but it is about life. The difficulties which the boy faces after deciding to hide in the shed are used for the obstructions one has to deal with while walking down the road one chooses in life. But the boy's determination to win and succeed enables him to be strong enough to overcome all these difficulties. Also, the other boys are the competitors which one has to deal with in life. Next, they will probably be searching the bushes near the swing. Whatever happens, you must not sneeze when they come prowling in. So, as usual, as per the technique and method of the game hide and seek, the boy realizes that his friends are searching him. So, he again instructs himself that whatever happens, if he feels like sneezing, he must control it, because once he will sneeze, his friends will be able to locate him and they will come prowling to catch him. Now, two things are important here. The terms prowling in and whispering at the door in the next line further intensifies the degree of competitiveness within the game. And the next thing is prowling is basically associated with animals who hunt for their prey. So here the friends are described as prowling as if they are predatory animals waiting to strike on their prey when it is unaware. Such are the problems life throws one's way. But if, like the little boy, one has a predetermined aim in mind, it is not difficult to pull through despite them. Next line. And here they are, whispering at the door. You have never heard them sound so hushed before. Don't breathe, don't move, stay dumb. Here we sense certain nervousness in the small child who realizes his friends are standing outside. The boy himself declares that he has never heard them talking so softly before. So he is getting nervous and continuously instructing himself not to move, not to breathe, not to utter a single word. Now this line, don't breathe, don't move. Now the poem starts with the imperative verb call out, call loud. Now examples of words in the imperative again has been used here. Be careful, don't breathe, don't move, and many more in the poem. These words in the imperative form are very important here because they are showing the expertise of this boy at play in this well-loved game. It is almost as if the boy is instructing the reader as to how we should play the game as well as in order to not to be caught. Hide in your blindness. When we close our eyes, what we see is complete darkness. Here the child has meant to close eyes. Now this makes attention and anticipation for the reader also, as we also don't know whether the other children will be able to find him out or not. So it creates a tension. The short sentences are to build up tension and create stillness. Next line. They are moving closer. Someone stumbles, mutters. Their words and laughter scuffle. Their words and laughter scuffle and they are gone. So stumbles here it means speak in a hesitant manner. Mutters mean to say in a very low voice, and scuffle means confused fight. Here fight means disagreement. So the boy feels that his friends are coming too closer to him as if they are about to catch him. But some of his friends are talking so softly that he couldn't hear. But soon the voices fade as they move away, not believing that the boy would dare to hide in the tool shed. So there is complete silence again. Today I'd like to end the discussion here. In the next presentation, we will continue the rest of the portion.